Need-aware colleges. If you've never heard of this, you might be surprised to hear that some colleges are need blind, meaning they will not look at your students or your family's financial situation when deciding on admissions. But then there are many schools that are need aware. This means that they will consider your students' financial abilities and your family's financial abilities in the admissions process. In today's video, I want to break down a list of who is need aware and why this matters to your family. Now make sure you hit subscribe because every week we have a new strategy to help your family work towards a debt-free degree. Hey there, my name is Jocelyn Pearson, founder of the Scholarship System, where we redefine paying for college to help families build strong financial futures rather than ones where we're paying on student loans for decades to come. Now, our main weapon against student loan debt are scholarships. However, choosing a school that is affordable can be a fast way to drastically reduce what we have to pay for college. Now, need-aware schools, like I said, do take in your students and your family's situation, your financial situation, and your ability to pay for the degree. This means hypothetically, if this school had two students that are exactly equal, but one could clearly afford the school and the other cannot, the student that cannot might be at a disadvantage. Now, this does not mean that a student should not apply to a school like that. We do not want to ignore a school just because they do pay attention to our need situation, but we do want to understand that if it is a need-aware school, we need to make sure that we have a well-rounded application otherwise. Now, on the other hand, sometimes schools are able to admit a student knowing they have the funds to give them. So it actually can also work in your favor. Now, I have a whole video on need-blind schools and need-aware schools, so you can check that out in the link in the description or somewhere here on the screen. But for this video, I want to actually give you a list of 10 schools that are need-aware and they guarantee meeting a student's need. What I mean by that is if they say they'll meet your student's need, whatever your figure is from FAFSA, your SAI, Student Aid Index, or what used to be the EFC, Expected Family Contribution, the cost of attendance minus that number equals your student's need. So say the total cost of attendance for a year is $50,000, your EFC or your SAI comes back at $20,000, then the need is $30,000. If a school says we guarantee we'll cover it, that means that they will offer a financial aid package equivalent to that gap, that $30,000. This is extremely helpful for families that may not be able to co-sign for student loans or really just any family because they know that that gap will be answered for. Okay, the list of 10 is American University, Boston University, Bryn Mawr College, George Washington, Ohio State, Ohio Wesleyan, Reed College, University of Miami, Tufts, and University of Rochester. Now, in addition to those 10 that do meet need, is also, I want to share a list of 10 that do not guarantee that they'll meet that gap. That doesn't mean they won't give any kind of financial aid, but they're just not promising, yes, we will close the gap. You just have to find the money for your SAI or your EFC. This list includes Auburn, Clemson, Emerson, Johnson & Wales, Rhodes College, Sarah Lawrence College, University of Denver, University of San Francisco, University of Tulsa, and Villanova University. Now, that being said, like I said, many schools are need aware. So this is just a taste of schools that are need aware. Now, you may have noticed that a lot of the schools from the Ivy League list, the 8 schools, or Ivy Plus, which if you didn't see that video, we released it last week all about Ivy Plus schools. We can link to that in the description as well or somewhere here on the screen, but those are not on this list. This is because these schools want to attract the best of the best regardless of their financial situation. So most are need blind. If you're worried about this and you can't find an answer, whether or not a school is need blind or need aware, then your student can easily just call the financial aid office and ask. That being said, here are some things that a student can do even if they feel like they're at a disadvantage because of their financial situation. First is to apply early. Early applicants are more likely to receive full demonstrated need offers. Second is to make sure they are a competitive applicant. We have many videos all about how to be competitive. This is why starting earlier is always better, because when you find us, we've got lots of tips, lots of strategies to implement, but ultimately making sure that we're well-rounded, that our student has some clear passions, that they're not just a seat warmer in a few clubs, but actually have something that they are truly diving into. Taking dual credit classes or AP classes, IB classes, keeping an eye on that GPA, making sure that if it's high, we can keep it. If it's low, we're making every attempt to bring it up. Having a nice, well-rounded resume. So not just playing one sport and saying, I'm too busy for a job, or I'm too busy to join other clubs. Not just diving into one club, but trying to have a part-time job or something else. Schools love seeing students that are well-rounded. And even more so, they love seeing students that have leadership roles. Third, we can apply for outside private scholarships. Of course, again, this is my bread and butter. I got over $126,000 in scholarships, paid for my degree. We've helped families get around 13 million. So if you want to learn how I find scholarships that are less competitive but are legitimate, then you can go to thescholarshipsystem.com/free training or click this video. We'll also have the link in the description. And lastly is to master writing. Those essays are really what seals the deal when it comes to getting into a school, but also possibly getting more money. That essay is so important. And even if your student hates writing, check out some of the videos in our playlist. We have tons of tips. I hated writing and I still managed to get 6 figures in scholarships. So there are tricks to the trade for this, but mastering that essay can really make a huge difference, not just with admissions, but with money as well. So comment below, is your student considering a need-aware school? Are you worried about this? Maybe your student's already admitted? Did you feel like being need-aware or need-blind affected their financial aid package? I would love to have this conversation with you in the comments below. So that said, while many schools are really moving towards need-blind, need-aware is still very, very, very prevalent. If your student is competitive, then this might not even matter, but it's still helpful to understand how that school is making a decision before we apply to them. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. Make sure you hit subscribe so that you don't miss out on our strategies in the coming weeks, all about how to work towards that debt-free degree, and I will see you in the next video.